This video is sponsored by tennis, but since I don't know anything about tennis, I'll just say this. I will solemnly swear that my simping for Zendaya will not affect my score for this movie. Alright? She's hot as hell, but I will not let it distract me from reviewing. Challengers was directed by Luca Guadagnino and released in theaters this weekend. The film stars Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Faist in a tennis love triangle drama type film. And basically, if you haven't seen the movie, you don't have to worry about spoilers for this one because it's tennis. Alright? Look, I'm not going to pretend like there's a huge, sweeping story here with massive plot twists and stuff like that, because it's not. It's pretty much this love triangle story between Mike Faist, Josh O'Connor, and Zendaya, and this tennis match that is going on. And basically, it's spanning across their tennis careers individually as well. But there really isn't going to be any big spoilers in this movie. I'm not going to spoil the ending, would be really the only big spoilery thing. I'm not going to spoil that. Just go watch the movie for yourselves. Because, I'll be honest, I wanted to like this movie a lot more than I did. Now, don't get me wrong here. The direction is fantastic. The actual craft of the film is really, really well done. There are some great visuals in here. There are some beautiful sound design, some beautiful shots. I mean, the cinematography on these tennis matches is incredible. I don't know what I would love to have been there on the set when they were lining up these shots for, like the ball to zoom past the camera one way, zoom past the camera the other way. And then there is one sequence where we get to actually be in a POV shot, like we're holding a racket and we're hitting the ball. And then we go into a POV shot of us as the ball bouncing back and forth between these different opponents. And that was really awesome. I loved that. And once again, like I said, Zendaya is in this movie. She's hot as hell. But I'm not going to let that determine my score, even though I was simping for her the entire time. Just like these guys, just like the two protagonists. So maybe I should have been in the movie. Okay, Luca, keep notes on that. For a sequel. No. But seriously though, Zendaya is the standout performer in this. Now, don't get me wrong. Josh O'Connor and Mike Faist, fantastic, and I would be shocked if at least one of them didn't get maybe some Oscar love there, maybe a nomination, Golden Globe, something like that. There's going to be nominations here for the Oscars, I feel like. I know it is April, it's an April film, it might be a little bit too early to be calling the shots on an Oscar nomination, but let me tell you, people are raving about this like crazy, so I would not be shocked if this snuck in near the end of the year for Best Picture. I wouldn't be shocked at all, honestly. Now, getting into my thoughts on the film, like I said, I love the building of the film. It is the execution of the story, which I'm not that sold on. You start off as, this big tennis match is going on, that it's going to be the ending. It's supposed to be the ending tennis match. But they bring us to it, like, in the middle, like, throughout the movie, they sprinkle in bits of this final tennis match, this challenger tennis match. And then sprinkled in that is backstory for Josh O'Connor's character and Mike Faist's character. And you get a lot of that, just, like I said, it's a lot of jumping around, timey-wimey stuff. It's kind of one of my issues I had with Doctor Strange. What? With Oppenheimer, I don't know why I said Doctor Strange. With Oppenheimer, where, it was because I was talking about time, where there is a lot of moving back and forth from different timelines, to past to present, to past to present. And look, I understand they want to do something different. It would have been, I guess, a little bit basic for some audience if it had just started with our backstory for these young guys meeting Tashi, played by Zendaya, and then going through the motions until we get to this last match. Now, I understand in some cases they do need to flashback just to show us certain things that happen between Tashi and these guys, like, one of them asking to be their coach when she's already the coach for her husband, and the husband being like, oh, we need to kind of, stop being so focused on this game and actually move on with our lives. I kind of want to retire and stuff like that. But she's not really about that. Tashi is a character that wants to be the top-tier tennis player. She will do anything it takes to get there, And obviously, if you've seen it in the trailers, it's not a spoiler. She does get injured, and Mike Face's character is kind of there to help her, when in reality, Josh O'Connor's character is really her boyfriend, but Mike Face kind of gets in there. He's like, yeah, this is my chance. But no, there really is. He's not like that. He isn't backhanded about it. There is a really good camaraderie between Josh O'Connor and Mike Face. And I think their chemistry with Zendaya is really good. They sell that, just like she did with Timothée Chalamet in Dune Part 2. Even though that is a little bit more dark and gritty. But here it is. It's toxic here. It's not much better here. But regardless of all that, there is moments, right, where you have that going back and forth, and it's necessary. But it's utilized too much for me. And there's also some music that gets overutilized for me a lot in this. There's this certain score that plays during, like, arguments or tense scenes, and it kind of overshadows the dialogue at some points. It can be the same volume as the dialogue, so it can be kind of hard to make out, wait, what's the argument about, what's happening? So I wasn't a huge fan of that, the use of that. But really where this movie shines is its performances. Like, Zendaya is commanding as Tashi Duncan. She is a brute force. She wants to do, like I said, whatever it takes to be at the top, even if it means she has to become the manager of her husband and, kind of live through his, walk a mile in his shoes and be like, all right, he's doing it. He's becoming the top tennis player, and I'm his manager, so that gives me some glory too. They're all after glory in this. And it's a story of love, camaraderie, and how the pressure and the fame of, their desire to be famous in this tennis sport comes between them all. And it kind of shakes them all in their own individual ways, where Tashi feels like she might not be doing the best job of being supportive while also being a coach, because she's also wanting the power, the fame that comes with Mike Face's success. And Josh O'Connor is kind of like, he's like, I'm kind of down on my luck. I don't have much money to pay for anything. And then I like this girl, but my buddy ends up with her. And it's kind of a sad tale in that regard for Josh O'Connor and Mike Face's character. But there is some reconciling that can be had there. This movie is kind of left open-ended, where you're like, oh, okay, I can see where this can kind of go. I can see where it can go a wrong way and a right way. And the characters seem like they are kind of, in their own way, at peace during the end of this. There's still some resolving to be had, but for the most part, that giant heap they were trying to get over throughout the whole movie, they finally get over it. So, I'm going to give Challengers a 7. I did enjoy it. It was just, I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. There were certain gripes I had with, like, the storytelling. Also, the pacing wasn't really hitting me. I was trying to get engaged, and I would get engaged in certain segments, and then it would kind of pull me out with some slower moments. But I understand they need to let those, deeper emotional moments hit in, even though it didn't resonate with me, to be honest. So I wanted to love this movie. I was prepared to give this like a 9, even an 8, like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But I'm gonna stick with a 7. It's not a bad film at all. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Go simp for Zendaya. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the review. Make sure to subscribe and like for more awesome movie reviews. Take care and goodbye.